Salman Khan, we are told, broke down in court when he heard the verdict. Not just Salman, his family and friends around him. There was pandemonium in the court when the verdict was finally announced. 5 years in jail for Salman Khan. The prosecution, of course, sought the maximum punishment, exemplary punishment, because as Pradeep Gerat, the public prosecutor, told journalists outside the court, they wanted a message to be sent out. You cannot be driving if you are under the influence of liquor, and should people be caught, should people be killed, then this isn't a case of rash and negligent driving. This is a case of culpable homicide, because the person is supposed to know the consequences of his actions. Salman Khan's lawyers are now racing against time. They're waiting for the operative portion of the verdict so that they can quickly approach the Bombay High Court. But legal eagles are telling headlines today that Salman Khan will perhaps have to spend at least tonight in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail. There's a lot of reaction that's coming in. There is disappointment in Bollywood. 200 crore rupees riding on Salman Khan. His friends are affected. Let's listen into reactions that are coming in.
सलमान की 5 साल की सज़ा और सिने अभिनेता संजय दत्त की 5 साल की सज़ा, इसमें मैं कोई फ़र्क नहीं देखता हूं, क्योंकि सलमान जिसको मालूमात थी कि रैश निग्लिजेंट ड्राइविंग से किसी की मृत्यु हो सकती है, तो मैं कहूँगा कि बहुत गैर जिम्मेदारी उनका कृत्य था। ये कोर्ट ने मान लिया है। अभी देखना यह है कि सलमान क्या अभी कुछ राहत मिल सकती है या नहीं।
Can there be any relief for Salman Khan after this 5-year verdict? Let me quickly take you to Mumbai's Arthur Road jail, where Headlines Today's Kamlesh Sutar now joins us with the latest. Kamlesh, what are prison authorities telling you? What cell will Salman Khan be kept in? What are the preparations at this high security prison?
Gaurav, immediately after the quantum of punishment was announced, now Salman Khan will be going through certain formalities, certain legal formalities that needs to be completed, a lot of documentation that needs to be completed, a lot of paperwork. After that, he will be taken to either GT hospital or JJ hospital for his medical test, and then after he will be brought to the Arthur Road jail. Now, since his lawyer has made it very clear that they will be deciding about the appeal only after getting full copy of the judgment, it is likely that Salman Khan will have to spend tonight at the Arthur Road jail. At this point in time, immediately after the quantum was announced, security at the Arthur Road jail has been beefed up. Extra police force has been deployed here. Apart from that, also several curious onlookers and Salman Khan fans have already started gathering and crowding outside the Arthur Road jail. This is the same Arthur Road jail where Sanjay Dutt was kept for a while. But then, given the fact that there was an argument that was put forth that there are several other convicts in the jail as well, and then he was shifted to Yerwada jail in Pune. So some jail sources say that that could also be the case in Salman Khan case. But for now, till that procedure is completed, Salman Khan will be kept at the Arthur Road jail, and then after decision may be taken. Arthur Road jail is already overcrowded. It's the same jail where Ajmal Amir Kasab was kept in the under cell, a special cell. It's also yet to be known that whether Salman Khan will be kept in a special cell or will be kept along with other convicts, and thereafter whether he will be shifted to Yerwada jail or Taloja jail or even jail in Thane or Nasik jail. The options still are open, but for now, till the time being, till that procedure is completed, Salman Khan will have to spend time at the Arthur Road jail.
Stay with me. I also want to bring in senior advocate Majid Memon, who joins us on the broadcast. Majid Memon, 5 years for a hit and run. Is this perhaps a bit too harsh, or was it the need of the hour, as the prosecution said, that a clear message needs to go? You cannot be drunk when you drive and kill someone.
Well, incidentally, in this case, so widely watched matter, it was constantly under monitoring by media and everybody. Now, the learned judge has come out, rightly or wrongly, with his findings that Salman is held guilty for not only driving rashly and thereby held liable for an offence under Section 304 Part 2, but also the learned trial judge has said that he was found drunk, and
Yes.
therefore it's also a case of drunk driving.
Yes.
So therefore the matter becomes a bit graver, and he has awarded to him 5 years, which is midway. 10 years is what is prescribed under 304 Part 2, but he has deemed it fit to award to Salman 5 years after hearing both sides and taking into account mitigating and aggravating circumstances on both sides. Therefore, it is difficult for us to say that it is a little too harsh or a little too lenient. And now that the sentence is also going to be questioned in the High Court. When
Yes.
Salman approaches High Court, the appeal is directed against two reasons. Number one is that holding of guilty for offences, and number two is sentence, the quantum of sentence awarded to him. So therefore, both would be under scrutiny by a higher court, and therefore we will have to wait and see what ultimately the final verdict of the court would be.
Okay, now, of course, this is what Salman's friends are saying. Much loved in Bollywood, one of India's biggest superstars, and his friends are saying that he's actually paying the price for being this superstar. You're making an example out of him. Anybody else perhaps would have gotten away with 3 years, which is the norm. But because he's Salman Khan,
Now,
howsoever high you may be, law is above you. But in this case, he's being made an example of. Majid Memon, would you concede?
now see, therefore, you see, now this is a very important question, and I think we will have to very seriously examine what I am saying. You see, there are people who are common people. They are also subject to law. There are uncommon people, big people, well-known people, people who may have done great service to the country, to the society, and maybe may have risen to top position. He has worked very hard over the years and has attained such popularity that he has millions of fans. So that, of course, hats off to him for all his performances.
Yes.
But you see, when we say that a celebrity is there, whether it is Salman Khan, it is Sanjay Dutt or ABCD, whosoever it is, or some big politician. You see, a celebrity may not be entitled to special treatment to his or her advantage. At the same time, the celebrity in the same breath, I would hasten to add,
Yes.
is not liable to suffer disadvantageous treatment by virtue of being a celebrity, and therefore one has to be very cautious while dealing with the case of a celebrity.
That's a very interesting point you make, and I want to take that question to Bishwajit Bhattacharya, former Additional Solicitor General of India, who also is with us on this broadcast. Is Salman Khan, Mr. Bhattacharya, paying the price for being a superstar? The prosecution said that in as many words, that hundreds and thousands of people follow Salman Khan, so an example needs to be made out of him.
Well, Gaurav, I don't think he is paying any price for being a superstar, and nobody questions the fact that he is a superstar, and full marks to Salman Khan as a superstar. But as far as this case is concerned, this is one of the rarest of rare cases where Judge Deshpande, by virtue of evidence that were placed before him, has upheld 6 out of 6 charges.
Yes.
And what were the circumstances? You know, the biggest point which has, in my respectful view, which has worked against Salman Khan is, you know, to have brought in an evidence 10 years after the unfortunate sort of event, and then suddenly the driver claims that I was driving and you know, Salman Khan was not driving, and that has not been believed at all. I don't think any lay person also, by virtue of press reports or television reports, would have believed that. Number two, you know, there were, in spite of the fact that prosecution has done a very good job, prosecution lawyers have done a very good job, there were serious gaps in the prosecuting agency, like.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes.
There were gaps.
Yes, there was.
Yet there was a conviction, and yet on all charges, all counts.
Although I have not seen the judgment, I have not read the judgment, but whatever reports have come, you know, it shows that in the car there was Salman's friend.
Yes.
Singer Khan was there.
Yes.
Now he was an eyewitness. Prosecution.
Kamal Khan, yes.
Kamal Khan. Prosecution basically did not examine him as an evidence at all. That's a big question mark. The person concerned is in the car. He is an eyewitness, and he is not being examined. Number two, the sort of steering, the fingerprints were not taken. Now, these were two very, very clinching evidence and circumstantial evidence which the prosecution, in its own wisdom,
Okay.
chose to ignore, but yet the prosecution lawyers, I feel, did a good job. Number two, there are certain things like, the crane, where the car was trying to be lifted,
Yes.
and the crane failed and the car again dropped on the body of the victim, and that is how he sustained injuries. And then Salman Khan also came out of the right hand window and the left front tire sort of punctured, and therefore the car banged. These are prima facie the manner in which the trial has been conducted. I think there's a lot seems to be
Majid Memon, does that make
question
sense that the prosecution perhaps did not have a very coherent case? But of course, that will be known only after the verdict has been completely read. The Mumbai police was convinced that they had a cast iron case, and his PSO Ravindra Patil's testimony played a very crucial role here, sir.
Yes, certainly. Certainly. You see, I appreciate that there were a number of handicaps for the prosecution, because you can imagine this case is now 13-year-old. The incident
Yes.
is 13-year-old, and therefore to lead evidence, say more than a decade later, is a difficult job, and lead convincing evidence which can win the favor of the court for acceptance
Yes.
is definitely an achievement. I must say the prosecution has done a good job, and as rightly said by my colleague here, that defense of alibi that I was not driving was probably taken a little too late, and
Yes.
thereby was hardly possible for a judge to accept. And
Okay.
also that the death was caused because the car slipped from the crane probably also was an afterthought and was
Okay.
a belated story. So
Okay.
once you take this kind of a dangerous defense at a later stage, you are running the risk of non-acceptance.
Which
and
is
if
exactly
it is not
what-
accepted,
Yes.
you are termed as a dishonest person also.
Which is exactly what appears to be happening in this case, and especially with the case of the driver. I'll come to that aspect, but Farah Khan now joins us on the broadcast. She's a jewelry designer in Mumbai. Farah, your reaction to this verdict today?
Well, I'm very deeply saddened by the verdict, because I do agree that yes, he did commit a crime and he is at fault, but the verdict is too harsh because he did not intentionally want to kill someone. Furthermore, the people were sleeping on a footpath when they shouldn't have been sleeping there. And I just feel that Salman should not get very, very harsh punishment. He should be punished, but maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. But what the verdict right now is too harsh, because he's a good man and he actually supports the livelihood of many people, many people who depend on him.
But Farah,
if I'm not,
while
if I'm not
emotionally...
mistaken, the victims themselves, the victims' families themselves do not want him to go to jail.
But, while emotionally you may be right, look at the legal aspect. The minimum punishment for such a crime is 3 years, maximum is 10. That's point one. But I want to ask you about what you've tweeted a short while back. You said that those who sleep on the road, is it their fault that they were sleeping on the road?
I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying in any other country, the government is responsible for the housing of the people. It's unfortunate there are poor people in our country who sleep on the road. It's not like Salman Khan got into a car and decided to run over people. It was a mistake. It was an accident. And it's very sad that someone lost their life and others were injured. But to penalize him and punish him very harshly is not right. I'm not saying don't punish him. I'm saying yes, punish him, but also keep in consideration that there were lots of other factors, and especially this is after 12 years. So, so the judgment should be a little less harsh. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, you're saying the verdict is too harsh, but isn't this, somebody who gets drunk and then drives, he knows the consequences of his actions. And this is a message that goes out to others. And Salman Khan, being a superstar, should have known that if he's drunk and he's driving, he can end up killing people. And that's exactly what happened, Farah.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying he is faultless. Yes, he was under the influence of alcohol, not have been driving, but he did to go kill someone. What I'm saying is just be a little less harsh. I'm not saying that he's not at fault. What I'm saying is He had no intention to kill someone, and to be judgmental about him and to say that he ran over people because he was completely drunk and he intended to kill them is incorrect.
Okay, stay with me for a moment and let me get you a legal opinion on this. Vishwajit Bhattacharya, who's former Additional Solicitor General, he's with us on the broadcast. Farah Khan, of course, being a friend, perhaps says 5 years is too harsh. The minimum punishment in this case could be 3. So could the judiciary have stopped at 3?
No, the minimum punishment can be even 0.
No, but culpable homicide not amounting to murder.
Culpable homicide not amounting to murder. The part 2 reads that it is 10 years or fine. The word is or both. So the punishment can only be fine also.
Okay.
It's not that minimum is 3.
So Farah, you think it perhaps then could have been just a fine Salman Khan, and perhaps that could be a lesson?
No, I'm saying, okay, fine. 3 years maybe could have been the judgment. 5 years is too harsh. I'm just saying a lot of factors should have been taken into consideration. He's not a criminal. He's a well-respected man who looks after many people. Okay? He's does a lot of charity in society. So all those factors should have been taken into consideration. I'm not saying he's faultless. I'm not saying he wasn't drunk. I'm just saying 5 years was too harsh.
Okay, so you're saying 5 years is being too harsh, but at the same time, if the rich can get away by paying a fine, somebody like Salman Khan has no shortage of money. He can easily pay a fine and get away with it, Farah.
I don't think Salman has ever been treated like a citizen in this case. He's always been treated like an ordinary citizen. He's always shown up. He's never not shown up. He's always been there at court. And that's what I'm saying. Why we make such a big thing? Because it's Salman Khan. I mean, yes, he is a celebrity, and yes, celebrities do set examples. And I'm saying, yes, do set an example, but 5 years is too harsh. Make it lesser. Make it the minimum sentence, but not 5 years. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But I want to, for a moment, come back to you on a tweet of yours, which is being, talked about. It is like penalizing a train driver because someone decides to cross the track and gets killed in the bargain. This isn't exactly the same thing. The people who are sleeping on the road, they have nowhere else to go, and somebody who's drinking and driving should be well aware of that just because they're sleeping on the road, they are not the road, they are on the pavement.
The logic behind the tweet, again, trying to say that if someone is sleeping on the road, the chances of getting killed are much more. If someone is not sleeping on the road, the driver is going to run over the pedestrian and probably hurt himself. He won't end up killing someone. So I was trying to draw a parallel saying that if someone does something illegal, which is crossing the train tracks or drinking and driving, they will get into problems. But what I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to say or negate something and say he's not at fault. I'm saying, yes, he's at fault. It's unfortunate, but he needs to have lesser punishment, keeping in mind that he is a guy in society who does a lot of good.
Farah, stay with me for a moment. Singer Abhijit also joins me on the broadcast. And Abhijit, you've been quoted as saying, sleep on the road like a dog, you die like a dog. Is that what you said, Abhijit?
You know what? Without mentioning Salman Khan's name, it's a general issue. It's a very severe issue. Why should anyone die like a dog? रोड पे कोई सोएगा क्यों? आपको मालूम है that hill road, have you been there? Such a busy road, even at night at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. वहाँ पे सब गाड़ियाँ आती है, ये आता है. आप अगर उनको फुटपाथ, and what is the difference between footpath and road in India? Tell me, where is the footpath? It's a part of the road. It is an accident, whether he is drunk or he is normal. It's an accident. लेकिन अगर कोई रेलवे की पटरी पे सो जाएगा, बोलेगा तो आप रेल तो बंद कर दोगे ना कि इतने बजे से इतने बजे तक रेल नहीं जा सकती. You give them shelter on railway patries also. Footpath is not supposed to be for sleeping. मेरा issue वही है कि why a man, एक human being इस तरह से क्यों सोएगा? ये पॉलिटिशियंस लोग ये मुद्दा उठाएंगे, कुछ लोग मुद्दा, मैं तो हमेशा एक अच्छा सा मुद्दा उठाता हूँ, लोग उसको गलत कर देते हैं. क्यों सोएगा? जिसका अपने बीवी बच्चे हैं, जिसके माँ बाप हैं,
तो इसका मतलब अगर वो फुटपाथ पर सो रहा है अभिजीत, तो उस पर गाड़ी चढ़ा दो, दारू पी के गाड़ी चलाओ और उस पर चढ़ा दो, और वो उसी की गलती है कि वो मर गया। दिस इज योर थिंकिंग अभिजीत।
आई एग्री विथ यू, मैं उस इश्यू पे नहीं हूँ, मैं दारू पी के गाड़ी चलाने के उसमें नहीं हूँ। मैं तो यही बोल रहा हूँ कि व्हाई शुड एनीवन स्लीप ऑन द मेन रोड, वो हिल रोड पे। हिल रोड पे कोई सोएगा क्यों भाई? उसका कोई लॉ नहीं है, सुसाइड का लॉ है कि मैं सुसाइड कर रहा हूँ बोल दो तो वो जेल में चला जाएगा।
अभिजीत, आप गरीबी का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं। यू मेकिंग फन ऑफ द पुअर बिकॉज सलमान इज योर फ्रेंड। अभिजीत,
no one is my friend, you know that, you know me personally, you know me, you don't know me personally, I know, but you know, everybody knows me personally. I'm not a hypocrite, don't say that. I'm not a hypocrite at all. मैं refuse कर देता हूँ। I refuse to the superstar कि I will never sing for him. कितनी बार आपने लिखा, नहीं लिखा ना? So I'm talking about the status. आप फुटपाथ को जब कोई सोता तो उसको नो जोन कर दीजिए ना, नो स्लीपिंग जोन और नो ड्राइविंग जोन कर दीजिए।
फुटपाथ तो नो ड्राइविंग जोन है अभिजीत, फुटपाथ इज अ नो ड्राइविंग जोन। सलमान खान अगर शराब के नशे में गाड़ी चलाकर फुटपाथ पे गाड़ी चढ़ाते हैं तो उसमें बेचारे गरीब लोगों की क्या गलती है?
व्हाट इज सलमान खान? हु इज सलमान खान? एक्सीडेंट इज एक्सीडेंट। एक गाड़ी आदमी दारू पी के चला रहा है या नॉर्मल, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि द पर्सन हैज टू बी ड्रंक। ये किसी के हाथ से स्लिप हो सकता है, गाड़ी चढ़ सकती है फुटपाथ पे, रोड के ऊपर है फुटपाथ। फुटपाथ इज नॉट अ चबूतरा, फुटपाथ इज नॉट अ रॉक, या घर के अंदर गाड़ी नहीं घुसाई। आई एम नॉट टेकिंग सपोर्ट, लेकिन ये एक मेजर इशू है। अरे ये इशू तो रोज रात को हमको मार देता है, हम गाड़ी चलाने से वहां से डरते हैं। हमारे जूहू लिंक रोड पे अब रोड फुटपाथ की जगह नीचे रोड पे आ गए लोग सोने।
लेकिन अभिजीत यही फर्क है।
नो 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 नो, ये आप लोग कहेंगे बिकॉज देयर इज ऑप्शन। ये लोग अंदर एक गली भी, हर जगह गली ज्यादा है, रोड कम है मुंबई में। आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मुंबई, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी अदर सिटी। एक गली के अंदर बहुत लोग सो सकते हैं, उनको कोई मना क्यों करेगा? अगर रोड पे नहीं मना कर रहा है तो। यार सुनिए, मैं भी मुंबई में आया हूँ, मुंबई में 80% स्ट्रगलर्स लोग पैलेस में जाके रहते हैं। ये उसमें से शायद 70% लोग भी फुटपाथ पे नहीं सोते, कहीं जाके झोपड़। मैं खुद बता रहा हूँ, मैं रेलवे स्टेशन में जाके मैं बेंच के ऊपर सोया हूँ। रात को 2 बजे लास्ट ट्रेन निकली है, पुलिस वाले ने मुझे बाहर कर दिया। फिर 4 बजे रोड शुरू हुआ, ट्रेन शुरू हुआ प्लेटफॉर्म पे, फिर आके मैं सोया। लेकिन मैं फुटपाथ पर रोड पे जाके नहीं सोया, बिकॉज आई नो कि मेरी अगर कल मुझे पे कोई गाड़ी चला तो मेरी माँ का क्या हाल होगा। इतना रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं हूं मैं कि मेरे बच्चे का क्या होगा, मेरी वाइफ का क्या होगा। आप लोग सो गए, कोई गाड़ी चढ़ा दे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मैं इस इशू के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ हुजूर। इस पे आइए, चाहे वो सलमान खान हो, चाहे ड्रंक हो और अनड्रंक हो, उसकी बात कीजिए।
अच्छा, बने रहिए अभिजीत, stay with me for a moment because I want a clarification on this aspect. Vishwajit Bhattacharya, as a senior advocate, your reaction to what Farah Khan Ali says and what Abhijit says. And Abhijit is a very, very well-known singer across the country. He says, कुत्तों की तरह सड़क पे सोगे तो कुत्तों की तरह मरोगे।
देखिए, ये तो बहुत ही अनफॉर्चुनेट स्टेटमेंट है। एंड फरहान खान मैडम जी और अभिजीत जी ने एक मुद्दा उठाए हैं।
Right.
अब now that is an issue. There are a lot of poor people in the country. Why they are sleeping on the pavement? That is an issue. Drunken and rash driving is another issue. Now these two issues should never be mixed.
Abhijit, that's the point you need to appreciate. He was drunk and he was driving, and that is why culpable homicide, and that is why 5 years sentence. Abhijit,
Gaurav, can I just make a sentence?
Because Salman Khan is drunk.
Any man who's drunk, no man can, if he's drunk and he's driving, it is homicide, culpable homicide.
अब ये
जी राहुल जी सुनिए, आपको मैं विश्वजीत जी से पूछिए, देयर आर सो मेनी केसेस। उनका अभी तक 15 साल पहले भी आया होगा जिन्होंने कुचल दिए हैं, शायद उनका केस अभी तक कोर्ट में डेट भी नहीं पड़ा होगा। सलमान खान का इसलिए हर जगह प्रायोरिटी मिलती है। सलमान खान के केस को भी 5 साल पहले कर लिया, 10 साल पहले कर, बड़ी 13 ईयर्स हो जाए। इट इज नॉट लेट बट इट इज टू अर्ली। दूसरों का केस में बहुत है। I'm not bringing Salman Khan's issue at all.
No, but what you are saying is,
जो बोल रहे हैं, मैं यही बोला, उसको नो जोन कर दो ना, नो ट्रैफिक। उसको उस टाइम गाड़ी बंद कर दो, हिल रोड पे सबको बुला लो कि everybody should sleep on hill road। उसको हमने पूरा ब्लॉक कर दिया है।
What you are saying is very insensitive, Abhijit. Aren't you apologetic for what you are saying? कुत्तों की तरह सोगे तो कुत्तों की तरह मरोगे. You're making fun of poverty of poor people in this country.
नहीं, you should appreciate rather कि मैंने जो बोला है कि तुम अगर उसका अगर ट्विटर नहीं होता ना, तो अगर पूरा एक निबंध होता ना, तो मैं डिटेल में रखता था. भाई आप कुत्ते की तरह क्यों सोएंगे? द मीनिंग इज दैट आप कुत्ते की तरह क्यों सोएंगे?
कोई विकल्प नहीं है लोगों के पास. देयर इज नो ऑप्शन बट टू स्लीप ऑन द रोड.
वाले को फिर अमेरिकन बेकरी वाले को बोलो ना, उसको भी जेल दो. तो तुम्हारे वर्कर को तुम सारा दिन काम कराते हो, बाद में उनको फुटपाथ पे क्यों सुलाते हो? दुकान खोल के क्या ब्रेड और बिस्किट लेके आदमी चोर क्या ले जाएगा? उसको अंदर सोने देते? उसको ताजी हवा चली खुली आसमान के नीचे सोना है. तो कौन सोता है ऐसे? डॉग्स आर स्लीपिंग लाइक दैट. नॉट एक इज्जत एक अरे बीइंग ह्यूमन, आपको तो खुद को एक रेस्पेक्ट होना चाहिए ना. भगवान ने आपको क्या दिया है? अब गाड़ी के नीचे जानबूझ के सो रहे हो. यू आर एक्सीडेंट इज एक्सीडेंट. क्यों का आदमी क्या बोलता कि अरे गलती से रोड मत पार कर लो, तो कोई आपको थोड़ी रोड पार करते करते कोई आपको चढ़ा देगा गाड़ी. एक्सीडेंट होता है तो गाड़ी चढ़ेगा.
No, but
it's a
you know,
fault. Accident is
that
accident.
major aspect, Abhijit, that you're missing out here is the fact that a drunk man, when he kills someone, he knows if he's been drinking and
Yes,
driving,
I
the
agree with you.
consequences are different. I have
Rahul,
to take a break. Abhijit, don't go away. I have to take a break. Farah and Abhijit are with me on the broadcast. A quick break. We'll be back with the headlines and our top stories.